Atlanta, Carolina, and St. Louis, because their playoff hopes have gotten a boost lately.
I bet you
And Eli Manning has come back out, and the numbers have been disappointing, to say the least, in the fourth quarter.
He's not been good lately in the fourth quarter, and I bet you Brett Favre is bouncing off the walls right now.
Big drive for the Giants with 9:21 to play. They'll start it with Barber. And Barber would appear to have a first down, or at least close to it, depends on the spot.
Well, we've talked about everything else with Tiki Barber, but sometimes his patience and his vision is his best attribute. That time, the hole really wasn't there initially. And then he just sort of waited it out and waited for the blocking to happen. Again, Visanthe Shiancoe with a big block inside, and it took a little while to develop it, but Barber had the patience to make that one work.
The crowd at FedEx Field into it now. This is Barber again, and he gets stuffed by Sean Taylor.
Yeah, Jim Finn's going to load up again, and they're going to come with the double team right on the nose tackle right here, try and eliminate him. And then it's up to Jim Finn to just go one-on-one against the linebacker in the hole in there, and that's Lamar Marshall. Lamar Marshall is a guy that they will probably want to upgrade. He used to be a strong safety, then an outside linebacker, probably out of position as a middle linebacker.
He's only 230. He's outweighed by 15 pounds by Finn. This is Barber following Finn again, but not getting much. And Manning will be facing a crucial third down.
The one thing Lamar Marshall can do, though, is run. If he struggles in the passing game and some of those things. But that time he was able to use his speed to kind of beat those offensive linemen around the corner. And now for Kevin Gilbride, every call is a big call from here on out.
Maybe the biggest down of the night for the Giants.
Boy. Go back to, is Eli Manning, is he tough, or is he New York tough?
He's going to want to talk about it. Eli brought him up, didn't like what he saw, and has decided to have a chat with Kevin Gilbride.
That time Sean Taylor came up on the end of the line of scrimmage, and I don't think Eli felt like he had it protected on that side, and so he had to come out of it. Sean Taylor's going to walk up over here to this bunch formation. Right here he is, and now you've got a short corner coming off of this side, and that's going to make Eli take a time out there. They didn't have that protected.
The Giants led in this ball game 27-7, but the Redskins have come out in this second half and found some offense. Jason Campbell leading the Redskins on 2 lengthy drives, cut the margin to 6. As the Giants offense has stumbled of late. And so Manning and company left with what is their biggest down of the night, 3rd and 5, to keep this drive alive.
And you're going to get a double team on Burris or pressure. One of those two things. And if he gets man coverage on the outside, which here comes the pressure.
Taylor's coming. He's picked up. Manning has time. Throwing in and out of the arms of David Tyree, but we've got a flag in the secondary. Oh.
Boy, that is...
Holding, number 25, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And an automatic first down, so it wasn't pass interference. I didn't think it was, but you're going to get a hold right out here.
It's a good call.
And that's what they're going to pick up there for the penalty. You could see that Kenny Wright came back and made the play, but they got the hold early, and what a huge call in favor of the New York Giants.
And we've talked about who the Giants are missing. The Redskins, Kenny Wright is in there because Sean Springs is on IR. That's usually where Springs would be. And so the Giants drive is alive, and Barber will pick up 5 on first down. Ball's free.
And the one official holding up 2 fingers, which means it's second down. I don't know if he was called down by contact or if they saw that they recovered the ball, but it is still Giants football.
It's Kareem McKenzie appears to have, yes, he was down.
Yeah.
Kareem McKenzie, 67, appears to be the Giant who got down on it.
Yeah, and Troy Vincent's going to kick this one out after the fact, clearly after Barber was on the ground, no question.
Good pickup on first down for the Giants. They've moved it to midfield. Barber. First down Giants. Barber. Touchdown Giants. Tiki Barber breaking the tackle of Troy Vincent, finding off the right side a 50-yard dash.
Tiki Barber again is going to be stuffed at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be almost completely stopped there trying to run behind the block of Sean O'Hara. But the acceleration of this guy, the ability to break tackles at 200 pounds, simply remarkable. What a night it has been for Tiki Barber. He has dominated this game from beginning to end. He said, give me a chance, give me the ball, and Kevin Gilbride has done exactly that tonight, and he may have awakened the New York Giants.
On their biggest drive of the year, the Giants move out in front, 34-21. 50-yard touchdown dash by Tiki Barber to go with a...
Is Nick Saban staying or going? While we don't know the answer to that question just yet, the Miami Herald is reporting that an offer from Alabama is imminent. The paper says the Crimson Tide will present a package to entice Saban to become their next head coach within the next couple of days, and the offer is anticipated to be much more than the $15 million that Saban is owed from the Dolphins over the next 3 years. In the NFC wildcard race, the Dallas Cowboys, they know they're in the playoffs, but they want to be playing better offensively. They were only able to score 7 points on Christmas Day against the Eagles, and once again, that has Terrell Owens speaking his mind.
I'm not the only person that has expressed themselves, about the disappointment of a loss. So I'm no different than anybody else, and I think it's just magnified just because I say things. And I'm a competitive person, and I don't like to lose. And I know I'm very valuable to this team. And when I don't make plays, and it's magnified.
Alamo Bowl, Texas and Iowa, late third. Hawkeyes trailing by 6. Drew Tate hooks up with Andy Brodell. 23-yard touchdown to make it 21-20, Iowa on top. Same score, fourth quarter, first and goal. The Longhorns, Selvin Young gets the handoff, 2-yard touchdown. Longhorns win it 26-24. I'm Darren Horton. This is NFL Network Now.
Hi, I'm Brian Billick, and you're watching NFL Network.
Get autographed NFL stuff and give back. Bid for a cause. NFLauction.nfl.com.
What a night for Tiki Barber. Touchdown runs of 15, 55, and that last one for 50 has given him 227 for the night. And yes, you see it right there, a franchise record. And he's boosted the Giants to a more comfortable 34-21 lead with just 6:13 to play. And while we were away, a flag was dropped, roughing penalty on Gray Rugemer, as push assessed on the kickoff. And so the Giants will put this one in play from the 15.
Doesn't it just seem logical that Tiki Barber, your best player, gets the football? And for what has been this entire streak that the Giants have been on, it seems like the offense has started somewhere else. I just couldn't figure out whether they saving him for Good Morning America or wherever he's going. I don't know where he's going, but
that's probably not a bad guess.
Hey, really? I don't know.
Wouldn't you think?
He'll be good at whatever he does, but I sure would like to watch him play football a little while longer. He can always do that other stuff.
Well, whatever happens, the Redskins figure to have decent field position here because Cartwright feels that it is 20, but he's not going to get much. Gets back to the 32.
Well, we've had some big plays and some big penalties in this ball game. Remember the penalty on Sean Taylor and the flop on that play, and that led to the Tim Carter touchdown. If he made the flop, might as well. And then you come back the other way on third down. It would have been the end of that drive, and you get the holding call there, and then Tiki Barber busts one off to open up a bit of a margin here, but still 6 minutes remaining, and the Redskins have been moving the football themselves.
Jason Campbell enjoying a great second half. He'll start this one with a give inside to Liddell Betts. And by the way, while I have a chance, let me just make note that we do not have indigestion up here. We've had a mic open somewhere, and we've heard a couple of noises that were not of our doing, shall we say.
Thank you. I was wondering if those ribs impacted you a little more than I knew.
Either that or I'm a great ventriloquist. Campbell throwing wide this side for Antoine Randall. He brought it in before being forced out at the 46 by R.W. McQuarters.
Yeah, and Brandon Lloyd not in this game tonight, and boy, is Antoine Randall taking advantage of it. But for Jason Campbell, he's made some really big league throws here in the last quarter or so. This is by far the best I've seen him play. He looked pretty good last week against the Rams. They gave him a chance to open it up a little bit, and now tonight they're opening up even more because they got behind, and he's really playing well.
He's 17 of 22 for 167 on the night. Buying some time and throwing this one away.
Last couple of drives for Jason Campbell has had a chance to go play action on early downs. Of course, made the huge play with his legs, escaping everybody on about a 3rd and 9, and then rolls around and finds Liddell Betts in the end zone for the touchdown. And then the next drive, you could really see that Al Saunders started getting comfortable with his quarterback throwing out of the pocket. And when a young guy starts seeing the field the way Jason Campbell is right now, well, he looks like a veteran and not a guy in his 2nd year.
He's facing a 2nd and 10 here. And again, showing a touch this side to Santana Moss. And the Giants are claiming he was out, but they're going to give him the catch and the first down.
It was close. You never know. Does he double catch this one? That's the only question. Caught it cleanly, sort of trapped it against his body.
Yeah, but it didn't juggle.
It didn't bobble. I agree with you. I think that's a clean catch. He drags both feet. You're going to get a challenge out of Tom Coughlin.
On the field of a completed pass.
Now, these are always tough on the sideline, but I thought he trapped it against his leg and secured it.
Well, Walt Anderson will go into the hood. We'll find out the verdict when we come back.
As well as being a thirst-quenching soft drink,
yes, that's right, Dave.
A Sprite is also a sort of goblin. This Sprite is not so refreshing at a festival. And it definitely hasn't got any taste.
Here we go. Right and left and right and right. Left and right and right and left.
Try new Sprite Z. Great Sprite taste, 0 added sugar.
Coughlin has challenged the ruling on the field. Although we don't get a vote, we think it's a catch.
Yeah, I thought it was. It looked like that his foot was dragging, and even though the ball moved out of the second hand, it was still trapped, and then that front leg dragged in. So both feet are down. See if you can see his right leg now. I think he's going to drag it all the way through the end of that catch and makes it a completion. And even though you don't see the
ruling on the field stands. New York is charging for 2nd timeout.
And even though you didn't see the ball in that second shot, they can use a combination of shots to determine A, was the catch good, B, were the feet down, and that time the combination of those shots definitively showed that it was a completion.
Big call. Had that been overturned, Redskins would be looking at a 3rd and 10 from the 48. Instead, they've got a first down.
Yeah, and really still plenty of time, but they need to crank it up here just a little bit. They need to stay in a little bit of a hurry-up pace, and for Jason Campbell, you wonder how much experience he has in that sort of 2-minute offense. It's been a couple of months now, though. I'm sure he's practiced it some.
Redskins still have all their timeouts. He'll screen this one to Betts. Betts with blockers in front. Betts crossing the 20. Betts to the 5. This one was set up perfectly.
Great call there by Al Saunders. They're just going to all drop back in a zone. McWhorter's out on the outside, and then you get those big offensive linemen in front, and you've got a problem now defensively. That time, sort of a prevent look out of the New York Giants, and gave up a lot of room on that screen.
And Betts has gone to the sidelines for a breather. T.J. Duckett is in the backfield behind Sellers. Duckett will get it and run right into the arms of O.C. Umenyiora.
Well, O.C. Umenyiora and these defensive ends, they can't grab hold of quarterbacks, but they do a pretty good job on running backs.
Of course, Duckett's kind of hard to miss at 255.
You know, and T.J. Duckett is one of those guys that is sort of like Ron Dane. You know, I mean, he's a 250-pound guy, but he sort of has the mentality of a halfback instead of a fullback. They brought him here thinking that he could be that big short yardage and goal line guy, but it's really not who he is.
Loss of 4 on the play. Betts is checked back in. Completing this one to Cooley. He gets it to the 1. A lot of poise being shown by Campbell. He got a fierce rush off his left side, stepped up and hit Cooley.
Good job again by Jason Campbell. That time Carlos Emmons coming with some pressure on a linebacker blitz. They go zone blitz. They bring everybody from the right side, and then they drop Matthias Kiwanuka off the other side in a zone. So basically you have Chris Cooley working inside against a defensive end.
And it would have Washington's first time out, first of their 3. Coming up next, it's the Home Depot post-game show. Join the entire Total Access crew. They're going to have a full game recap and some post-game interviews too. Rich, Steve, Dion, and Marshall will be along.
This game just refuses to wrap itself up, does it? It's just the Washington Redskins have been virtually unstoppable here in the second half behind Jason Campbell.
Duckett, fake to Duckett. There's Sellers. Touchdown Redskins.
Man, oh man, they send Mike Sellers in motion out of the backfield, and the Giants were so convinced that they were going to come with Duckett up the middle. They just completely blew the coverage. Nobody went with him. And Tiki Barber said, what do I have to do to wrap this game up? I mean, that was a quick march down the field, and we still have 3:22 to go.
8 plays, 68 yards. Sways them on for the extra point, and the Redskins are still in this one. You called it. They came out with a full house backfield. Sellers goes in motion to the top of the screen, and he is wide open.
They just missed it. The safety moved over on the play, and he decided that he still had Chris Cooley, the tight end, coming out, and literally nobody goes with Mike Sellers, just a blown coverage.
And so the Redskins still find themselves down by 6, but they still have a lot of time. What they've got to do is manage to stop a Giants offense that and Tiki Barber, who's had his own way all night.
They have to stop the run, and I think at this point you have to say, okay,
make Eli beat you.
That's right. Eli Manning, if you can beat us throwing the football, you don't have Shockey, you don't have your receivers here, let's go ahead and load up against the run, and if Eli beats you, so be it.
Meanwhile, Jason Campbell, 3 lengthy drives in the second half, one of 11 plays, one of 9 plays, this last one of 8 plays. This kid is showing an awful lot tonight.
Yeah, he really is, and this is really his coming out party. I thought was a little bit last week. They only have about 20% of this offense in of Al Saunders. They wanted to really simplify things. Joe Gibbs said, let's make sure we get this kid protected, get him comfortable back there in the pocket. And then you can see the growth start now. They're starting to open up, let him throw the ball down the field, which he does very well.
If you're Gilbride, do you still keep it in the hands of Tiki, no matter what they come out in, or do you entrust it to Eli?
Well, you know,
it's the most important 3 minutes of your season.
Yeah, I think that I probably would not go run early on, though. I might go play action here on first down, because you know the Washington Redskins are thinking the exact same thing, that Tiki's been killing us, and we've got to stop him.
Sonoris Moss getting it across the 25 to the 28, and Tiki comes back on the field with 3:18 to play. What a night. Tiki Barber's had 21 carries, 227 yards. This was his first touchdown, a 15-yard romp. Then in the second period, this one for 55 yards. And then his last one was a 50-yarder off the left side. He has a franchise record, 227 yards to go with his 3 touchdowns.
And I think Tom Coughlin says now, I have to win it with my offense. My defense is completely collapsed. I cannot give the football back to the Washington Redskins.
They'll give it to Barber on first down, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's when a little change up there might have been a pretty good idea. That time, a lot of Giants in a pile. Chris Nee coming up slowly, Jim Finn coming up slowly, Tiki Barber looks a little uncomfortable. They all kind of ran into each other on that one. But Giants, again, they didn't go play action there on first down. The Redskins anticipated run, and the Giants stayed conservative with that one.
The Giants go to a double tight end as Darcy Johnson comes into the ball game.
Not conservative now. They've spread everybody out.
That's Burris in the slot, and Barber is wide left. He's looking for Burris. Incomplete. Carlos Rogers on the coverage. Burris wanted a flag, and that'll stop the clock at 2:33.
Well, they got what they wanted. They got Plexico Burris in one-on-one coverage, but Carlos Rogers just makes the play. He knows what's coming, and you're going to say, is that pass interference? And it's close, but he's allowed to break for the football there. He's allowed to try and go for it himself, and the referees let that one go.
Huge down for the Giants, 3rd and 10.
That incomplete pass, too, stopped the clock.
He's got Burris this side, but this is Barber. He's going to be short of the first down. The Redskins will take over on downs.
And you just get the feeling that they didn't quite trust Eli in that situation. You know, here he is. He's your franchise quarterback. It's 3rd and 9, and you just don't quite trust him.
And the Redskins have burned their second timeout, stopping the clock with 2:26 to go in this ball game.
I'm sure Eli is wondering the same thing. Hey, Kevin, now, you know what? You're paying me a lot of money here. I've been playing pretty well here tonight. And now you're going to turn the ball over with an eternity left on that clock. And now we have a lot of teams around the NFL in Green Bay and St. Louis and Atlanta and Carolina who, if the Redskins can stick it in here in this final 2:26, it gets wild on Sunday.
Jason Campbell could be a very popular man in those towns.
I think that one started with that first down run. And the Giants stuffed that, and then just all the momentum shifted their way.
And Anton Randall at the 24-yard line has been a big play guy throughout his career.
Don't forget the Redskins blocked a punt last week, too. Set up the return here.
He'll field it, and he's dropped at the 21 by Jason Bell. And once again, with 2:18 to play, this is the gang of 5. The Giants on top, but the Packers, the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Rams behind them. What they all need, what they all have in common, they need the Giants to lose tonight. And then there are a whole bunch of factors that come into play, but their playoff chances are alive.
And all those teams play on the road, so it is not inconceivable in this crazy year of the NFC where no one appears to want that 6th playoff spot, that they could all lose and that the Giants could back into the playoffs. But they're not thinking that right now. They're thinking we have to come up with a stop, and they have not been good on defense for about a quarter and a half here. The Redskins have just had their way.
Jason Campbell, 16 of 18 in the second half. Campbell pumps over the middle, throws low to Betts. That'll stop the clock at 2:13.
The time Jason Campbell just didn't quite trust. They had a play set up to Antoine Randall coming out of the backfield late there, and he just didn't like what he saw and pulled the thing back down. I think he had a chance to get it. You know, I wouldn't be afraid to come back to that play. If you can get a guy like Antoine Randall, one of the best punt returners in the game, in some open space with the way the Giants are dropping out of here, he could create a big play.
They're big play guys. Santana Moss is split wide to Campbell's right. He goes the other way and throws high for David Patton.
You know, we talked about the nice touch that he had on the last one. There we needed to see the arm strength. He tried to float that one in, and you just can't do that in this league. Jason Bell's going to come over the top from the safety position. He had room to sling that one in, but when he floated it, it just gave Bell way too much time to get there.
And we see so many dumb penalties. Let's give Jason Bell a little pat on the back there. He could have tried to light Patton up and would have drawn a flag, but pulled off. And so Campbell now and the Redskins facing a crucial third down. Last play before the 2-minute warning. Campbell, incomplete, was trying for David Patton. He comes up looking for a flag, but there's none on the field.
Boy, and I'm not sure I quite understand all of this. David Patton on back-to-back routes is going to be the guy you're going to go to. You've got a huge night out of Antoine Randall. You obviously have one of the best receivers in the game in Santana Moss. Chris Cooley is your favorite target, and on back-to-back plays you go to David Patton.
And so Joe Gibbs has little choice but to go for it on 4th and 10 with just 1 second left before the 2-minute warning. This is the ball game for the Redskins. Campbell was going for Randall L.
I think Jabril
and that
Wilson
looked like Jabril Wilson who jumped in there.
I think Jabril Wilson at the last second got a hand on that one. What a great play by Jabril Wilson.
2 minutes to play in the game. Giants in front by 6.
For Wilson NFL and GST footballs and much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world and melt with you.
You pick the phone, you fix the monthly bill, so you always know what's coming. You fix from T-Mobile.
Hi, I'm Mark Messier with an update on the Cold FX NHL All-Star Fan Balloting presented by 2K Sports. Now you can help choose this year's NHL All-Star Game participants. Just click to vote for your favorite players. Visit NHL.com to vote. Vote often.
Now you're seeing the All-Star stuff.
Click to vote, then watch the NHL All-Star Game January 24th on NASN.
Saturday Night Football on NFL Network is brought to you by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite, good call. Vonage, a better way to phone for less.
Back in Washington, where Joe Gibbs is about to conclude what he told us the most miserable 5 months of his professional life. A lot of people had high hopes for the Redskins coming into the season, but they just haven't played well at all.
No,
on
they
either
haven't.
side of the ball.
They really haven't, and I think the bigger surprise is the way this defense has played. But right now, with only 1 timeout remaining, tough spot now for the Redskins.
Brandon Jacobs gets the call. With both arms around it, he's brought down, and the Redskins will burn their last timeout. This Sunday night, Steve Mariucci, Deion Sanders join host Rich Eisen to give you the complete playoff picture, who's in and out. It's been New Year's Eve. NFL Game Day, 11:30 Eastern, only on NFL Network. You know, I've kept the personal wishes out of this for 5 weeks, but I do want to send along personal best to Bobby Mercer.
Yeah.
Great ball player and a good friend and a great New York broadcaster. Bobby was diagnosed with a brain tumor on Christmas Eve and underwent brain surgery. And we just want to send along our prayers to Bobby and his wife, Kay, our well wishes for them. They're good people. They're really good people. Hang in there, Bobby. The Redskins will not be able to stop the clock again. Jacobs will get it. And Jacobs, oh, there's a face mask. Lamar Marshall grabbed a hole and just did not let go.
Now, Brandon, don't do anything foolish back. The game is now over. If you don't get a penalty, the game is now over.
Lamar grabbed it and just did not let go.
15 on top of it. But
personal foul, grabbing the face mask, number 98, defense. After this is to go, first down.
And so now we can show the graphic if the Giants win, and now we can assume that they are going to. They are in, essentially. But to make it complete, they need Green Bay to lose to the Bears, or the Giants would have to win the strength of victory tiebreaker over Green Bay.
And a whole bunch of stuff has to break.
A whole bunch of other stuff would have to break for Green Bay to beat
Green Bay, right.
Yes.
But for Tom Coughlin, for Eli Manning, for so many of these New York Giants, they have now found a way to come in here. I'm surprised they're handing this thing off. But whatever. Maybe I ought to just hold off. I'm not going to jinx this football
Does this
team.
save Coughlin's job? What do you think? Is it enough? Does he have to win one more?
Impressive. I have to say, this is really, really impressive. He makes the bold move for Kevin Gilbride. He comes back in here, and this team gets it done on the offensive end, because really that has been the question mark on my mind. You've got Eli Manning, you've got Tiki Barber, and can Eli play well enough? Is he good enough? And did they give the ball to Tiki Barber? All those answers seem to be settled a little bit tonight with Kevin Gilbride calling the plays.
And they heard you. Now they'll take a knee.
Yeah.
They didn't need another Pizarchik-Zonka moment.
Yes, a good idea.
And so Eli, despite a bunch of troubles, will find himself in the postseason. For how long remains to be seen.
Yeah, we're not quite sure, playing either Philadelphia or Dallas, depending on how that breaks out. But this was a moment, you know, this was a moment where it was really the burden fell on Eli Manning, and Kevin Gilbride was smart enough to let him get settled behind Tiki Barber.
And some Redskins upset with Finn's aggressiveness on what amounted to a kneel down that is going to end this ball game. And so they're exchanging holiday wishes.
And Basante Shanko pointing towards his bicep, and well, he should, because he had a big part of this one too.
But the night really belongs to Tiki Barber. 23 carries, a franchise record, 234 yards on the ground. You see it, 258 total yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on long runs. Tiki Barber extending his career for at least one more ball game.
And it was a fantastic effort. Give credit to the guys up front. They were unsettled on the offensive line coming in. David Deal, Gray Rugemer flip-flopping. They got it done as well.
Hey, partner, it's been fun. Happy New Year.
Really enjoyed it.
You and Holly and the kids take care.
Thanks.
Our final from Washington is the Giants 34, the Redskins 28. For all the good folks at NFL Network, I'm Bryant Gumbel. Good night from FedEx Field.